is gonna have a really good look for the early to mid. Honestly, when you have a Sora and the XP and then a Hilda in a roam, there's a good chance you'll be able to help your Ling farm comfortably. It's just that how will it look like once it gets to the fights? GXP, they can get the farm, but if the Ling is uncomfortable during the team fights, okay, it's not just gonna be uncomfortable in team fights, it could be also uncomfortable just trying to roam around the map with a chip, which NAVI finally got to make work yesterday.
Oh god, so they take the Claude and the Lilia, they want to have these vulnerable backliners, the vulnerable backliners can actually escape.
Yep.
But then you add a chip into it, so you already deal with the kill threat. Now you deal with that macro control that you have. There's no way to just rotate around and get those leads the way she's able to all this time in MWI. She has to play it safe and, more importantly, she has to snowball from the get-go.
Yeah, directly and indirectly answering the lane, whether it's through the individual 1v1s, if you look at the hero pieces, or the overall composition as a whole. Now, with that said, this gives a lot of room for flexibility for NAVI in terms of what kind of heroes they want in the EXP and jungle, depending on what you see for the last two picks. I think for NAVI, they'd want to maybe consider picking up their EXP first and then just adjust your jungle pick for last so you get the best one possible.
I'm thinking of those picks in the jungle. What's still up for Navi? I mean, there's plenty up. I'm thinking of the Akai instantly. That's why I thought the Akai would be red 3. Flex it, roam jungle. The chip hasn't really seen too much screen time here at MWI, but they certainly have a plan. Usually when you go for this kind of composition, it's like a Masha in XP with a Fredrin in jungle. Now, Fredrin has lost a lot of prio after the nerfs onto him, but I wouldn't actually count it out just yet.
Yeah, but I think the clear sign is there. If they ban out the carry, then they're most likely setting up for the Fredrin and the potential Masha pick, which Ayanami has already shown. So that route is open. Let's see if Galaxy Phoenix senses it and take out the Fredrin, meaning that the pool gets even smaller here for Navi in the jungle.
It could also be Barats.
There's no more option of you potentially going up against something like an X-Borg jungle. You already see the lane. I think Barats would be perfect here, honestly, for Navi. And with Galaxy Phoenix already showing their cards in the jungle, then there's not going to be a lot of counters left for it unless you pick up, like, what, a Lunox in the mid? But then you're up against a Lilia.
That's why it really just seems like Navi have it all covered. The Fredrin gets banned out again. I think Navi shouldn't be in any rush to fix the Barats, but they shouldn't be in any rush to pick up a crazy pick for Ayanami and XP as well. So just comes down to what they want to reveal first. Do they want to reveal the Barats or the Masha first?
Yeah, it's preference at this point. Because of the wide pool of not Ayanami, they have so much options to go for. I think that's our main discussion right now.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, Freya is still open. That's why we thought earlier Freya would be picked up in the very first pick for Galaxy Phoenix.
Well, okay then.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be too surprised if they just go and pull a crazy Leomord Freya. It's been a while since we've seen Leomord, but you know, those nerfs has hit him. But with this kind of composition, it fits. Just go all in.
Leo Freya, then you add the chip there. I think if you want macro, would I be too mad at the low you pick for GXP? Team fighting wise could make it difficult once they get out of the chip portal. Plus the Freya is there for the constant pulls. They went for Sophia on the Selena. They ran for comfort instead. It is very mechanically demanding to make this work, but it's one of those things where if the arrows hit, it's great. If the arrows don't, kind of GG.
I wouldn't even be too mad if they just run it back on the Alice jungle again.
Yeah, that could work out too because of the very close to mid-range nature of the composition of Galaxy Phoenix for team fighting. Alice, the Throne of Ruin, is going to stop the tempo of the team fights that could give a little bit more space for their Claude and their Lilia.
Yeah, just lock them down for the AoE damage to come through. And it's the Bauman. Oh, physical defense shred with a Freya and a Claude.
Ouch. This lineup just screams like it hurts. They have a good amount of crowd control. Not direct crowd control, but this is very damage focused. We know a Galaxy Phoenix, very mechanically focused.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. Mechanically focused, the underdogs must once again fight back to protect their tournament life. They've still got a bit more leeway since it's a best of 5, but not much if Navi can take this next map and lead 2-0. After all, they're already up 1-0. Again, I raised a question. Who's ready to rise above? Let's find out at map number 2 between Galaxy Phoenix versus Navi. Brigida, Gideon, take it away.
As we head on into the land of Dawn, the first statement has been set. NAVI take the first match here as we look towards GXP's response to that. How do they turn things around? How are they going to adapt to this upcoming game? Because right now, the draft doesn't seem to be in their favor. And here at level 1, Rain and MWI are already telling Lima that first blood is already in our pockets.
Oh, this Lilia on NAVI has been doing so much. Ever since game number 1, another stunning potential kill if only Sophia gets to walk out, but no! It's an early 2-0 for Rain on this Lilia.
Too early, and honestly, the fact that they've already gotten everything that they need, it's starting to snowball already. And I was expecting GXP to be that guy, to be that woman who takes them all out. Even MWI, confident, doesn't even have to flicker, recognizes that, Lima, you don't have the base damage. I'm a full level ahead of you.
And how does that change the conditions for GXP? Because you're no longer on equal footing, you no longer have to anticipate whether or not the early comes out from these arrows or not, because they're already at an advantage. MWI will get out of this. Still some glooms left. It's tough for the mid duo of GXP.
It already feels like Rain is asking the rest of the team to just hold my bearings. I'll do the rest. Don't worry, MWI. Just open up that map and I'm going to hurt them big time. And with that passive, heals right back up to full. So great control as they freeze that mid lane. They're starting to lean as they want to attack the top side.
Okay, NAVI is going in for the dives, even under the turrets. But MWI will be the one to finish the job. That's fun. They actually find.
I think this game is starting to look pretty doomed. Pretty doomed very early on, because this has to be by far one of the most critical starts. Like this blasphemous to people in MLBB. The first 2 minutes we're already having 3 kills on the side of NAVI, all centralized towards the most important roles in Ling and Fa.
Okay, fortunately an Abyssal Arrow does land over there. Sophia trying to dive, but it's an outplay! Everything has just not been going their way, every single attempt. And now NAVI might just take away this purple buff even from Fa, who's not even level 4 yet.
I'm getting the vibes back. This is why everybody was so excited for Assassin. And Ling able to find the solo kill despite everything that has happened already. The extra assist from Ayanami just wasn't enough.
Okay, that's a bit of a glimpse of hope for GXP right there. At least they get some trades one way or another through the EXP lane, but how else? Because even here in this jungle camp, you just could not farm as peacefully. Fa could barely get the EXP that's necessary. It's a 2-level gap.
This is so dirty. This is particularly dirty. KG knows how to play this Balmor, or has at least gotten all the tips and tricks. You're using a lethal counter. You're also trying to contest with Retribution. It's just an easy way to steal camps at a high rate against their opponent, and just ever telling them, yo, fear this. Shortcut connects.
How could they do this? They're just everywhere. MWI, fortunately for GXP, they don't actually lose Winnie out there, but does it actually become an opening? Now they get to find a kill. Fa finds MWI. Tempest Blade's already committed, but they don't want to fight this. They don't want to fight around the spinning Falcon.
No, they don't have the items. They don't have the damage. Wait, doesn't cancel it. No, they're just gonna set up this dive.
Oh, it's Sophia left all alone. Trying to escape. Abyssal Arrow does land.
What the heck,
but
bro?
he's just gonna buy some time.
Yeah.
Yo, what?
Really elusive here. Unless Rain or KG can actually apply some kind of movement speed slow. It's just going to be jungle. It's just NAVI's walking in and they're like, hey, you owe me money. Interest. Pay up.
This is so tough. It's always MWI plus another one. Oh, but a second solo kill from Ling towards not Ayanami. NAVI fail, or they actually do take. No, they don't. They don't take away the purple buff for the second time, and at least for Fa, they're slowly able to keep up bit by bit.
It just means that Retribution is going to be down. Not like Balman really cares whether he has Retribution or not, but generally speaking, this has been a pretty tough game towards Ling's side of the map. How can they get unluckily, the turtle is spawning down on the bottom side. They're forced to get Ling back in, and Ayanami already got solo kill twice. That top side, and NAVI understand this. Let's slow it down. Wait for the shortcut.
Understandably so, you see Ling here, but MWI has an idea as well. I thought that was gonna land too. MWI didn't necessarily try to catch it, but they lose out big on energy shields up top. GXP are the ones actually leashing this turtle towards their side, and without not Ayanami, they probably would have very little ways to contest. Once again from Ling to get the response. The MWI, do they want to fight this? Rian goes in with Blazing to it, landing it on 3, forcing out the flicker from Winnie, and it actually finds one. Lemma goes down, but Sophia escapes.
Oh, wait, hold on.
And
Link
Link
might be in some
on
trouble.
Link,
Now they can set up for a potential dive. Sophia's nearby and will peel, but Link can only do so much. How many seconds until the ult comes back up?
They really want this turret. Nami still going for it, but me too! Both had to flicker out!
God bless. God bless. Flicker saves lives, people. Flicker saves lives. These flickers have been essential for their escape. 5 to 6, however. Structural damage has already been applied. Navi making sure that the bottom side has been cut. Now they're going to send Rhea towards the top side to bring that other tier 1. But I would have imagined at some point Navi might want to start double waving with this Claude.
So far, it's 3-0 on this Claude. The participation has been massive for them every single time we get to see a team fight. But someone who hasn't been really participating as much is Keishi. But right now we might actually see that happen as they lay down another portal. Win is the target. And it's not looking great.
Yep, it's not safe. The river is not a safe space to walk in, and I think definitely GXP needs to start opening up this map for Sophia to start. Oh god.
You thought you were safe.
I thought you were safe, to be fair.
Yeah, but there was a chip trying to intercept you from behind, and the lethal counter in your face. There's not much you could expect from a Hilda at this point, no matter how much you try to open up the map. Navi are just at the most unexpected places possible.
Yeah, I think that GXP, unless they get some clean wombo combos like they did in their previous fight around that second turtle, it's not gonna be easy. Definitely not. Like Fox probably gonna get solo killed by Ayanami if he takes some prolonged fight against them. So at this stage, no shortcut.
Winnie again! Winnie's just not having a good time. The first time we see her on a Bruno and she has to go through all of this.
It's just constant pressure. Constant execution. Oh wait, they don't actually take it back. They realize and recognize the top side is actually where a majority of the resistance is coming from GXP. They should have the purple buff is up, and here they come on the run.
Not Ayanami leading the charge, forcing out the Tempest of Blades. Now they are forced to just get back. There's the Abyssal Arrow, but that's just about it. Navi are not really going to stop the pressure from coming.
Try the ult and next on towards the back line. However, Link unfortunately can't see close to distance. They don't want to commit the flicker as well, but they've got battle spells out of Navi. And honestly, at this stage of the game with a 3.8 8 minutes, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, at least if you look at it from the perspective of having a Ling on your lineup, you could play around the map a bit more, but just how could you? If Navi keep forcing these kinds of fights and just surprises all over, at least for now. Fast trying to stay composed by doing exactly what we mentioned, but even Keishi is just a bit too quick to expect what's about to happen from GXP.
Into it. Oh, cloud shift though!
Oh, the cancels. Now it's Rian having to get away from that. Not Ayanami left all alone against 3, and she could not take out at least one. Rain eventually shows up with a flicker. Winnie too having to dash away, and another intercept. That's the 4th time we see them take down the gold laner.
Again, great target priority here. And no time being wasted by Mirai. It's like, all right, I see my low target. I know exactly what I want to do. And this lead now, as we pull up the item as well, time completed. 9 minutes pretty early on with rapid boots as well. Explains why. Not only with the passive, why so fast. Okay. Thank you. He couldn't get worse from this point onwards. I mean, don't worry. That purple buffer was always now.
It was always Navi. But I wonder who else is not safe. Winnie again.
Oh my god.
She's been holding on that bush for too long. Mary's been staying in that bush for too long. And even with the Storm Man setup coming in from Link, I don't think they will get the value out of it. They'll just lose out on more members. Link falling down as well. There might be and that's going to be Rian.
They can't scale. They can't scale. They don't have enough EXP to stay above them. Even Mirai having a full level ahead of Lima. The early game is completely gone. And technically, this is where we're expecting Fa to start really picking up the stack from the SC team. However, there's such a big lack of an interception from Mirai. What are you supposed to do?
She had another ultimate available.
Fleeting time, what can I say? Especially when you're this far ahead.
I was just trying to fly over from one wall to another, and all the while that was happening, it was a free objective over to Navi as well. Just look at the goal difference already existing. At least it's not that far behind. But the gold lane, I think, is where you feel it the most.
I want to say it's not only just the gold lane, but at the same time, I think that the fact that this Chastised Pauldron is already built, I think at this point, Chip can get disrespectful, right? I don't think anybody has enough damage to kill him, and even if they do, the Chastised Pauldron passive will just keep him healthy. So at this point, Ryan, look at him. literally just having a tour.
Just doesn't mind those bits of damage you get to receive from Lema as the only person who could possibly walk up and not get bursted down by Navi, not unless they just go full commit. But now they have more and more waves coming in, not Ayanami showing up as well. Lemon just trying to scout where they are. They pretty much have information of what to expect. That's still not enough for them to go and try to engage against Navi, because even in the damage department, consider Winnie to even have enough damage already.
Not yet. I mean, not even a Berserker's Fury. That's what we're talking about, right? He literally has 12 out. Unfortunately, no purple buff, so he has to sit there and wait for it to come back as Navi take the initiative and start putting more structural damage.
Yep, they're keeping the pressure. And now it's Lema who, for the first time after he gets bursted down, has to flicker out of that. Worldly already committed as well, but they're just trading space. They want the space turret. There's the setup coming in from Ling, but she had to go down alongside with it.
They actually make this an endgame scenario. They still are able to kill it off. And luckily on the opposite end, Fa was able to pick up a purple buff for herself. Yeah. It's still a rough game.
It's an exchange of a base turret.
Yeah, it's like, man, not the best in the world, but hey, we take what we can get. And luckily the team, they like splitting the gold at this point of time is probably not ideal. Like, Fire understands, you know what, even though I don't have as much gold, it's important that I stay even in EXP against Keishi.
Yep, and these placements, these traps are becoming more and more important. Fortunately for them, they have that tool, but I don't think they've been able to maximize it as well. Ooh, wow. She tried to take that away, but it was still Keishi who got it.
Yeah, but still gonna be bouncing around for a little bit. I don't know if they time.
They didn't check, Winnie. Fortunately, had the flicker. But that's the thing. They forced out the flicker. We only have about 12 seconds before the next Lord.
I mean, they're conditioning them, right? They're conditioning them every single time. And I think that GXP need to start setting some real protocols here. This has happened way too many times. You cannot expect Winnie to always have her flicker available. Now Navi is in such a powerful position. They're going to have only 2 members actually deal with this Lord while everybody else is on guard duty.
Not Ayanami holding them on side. Am I right? Just standing there.
She has
the immortality too. I think Fa will be okay though, yeah.
Especially when you have iframes, you're just so unimportant as a priority target for a chip. I'm trying to figure out a better way of saying that. You just don't want to deal with that, right? You want Winnie, you want people who can get punished by this. Arguably even Lima as well, but that's only if that flicker is down. And knowing that Winnie has been losing her flicker consistently every single minute it comes back on, I think that so far MWI is ready to start trading. Maybe even not even just flickering into the middle.
Just putting up the portal right then and there, but that forces out the Tempest of Blades from Fa. Won't even be confident enough to deal with the cut as well, but Lima, together with Sophia, are decently dealing a bit of damage already towards Mirai. I think that's a bit of a win.
It is a win, and I don't think Navi is getting as much value as they wanted to, right? They now desync the waves that they were trying to prepare. Finally loses immortality.
But every single member of Navi just jumps in to make sure that Fa goes down and doesn't get a hold of the purple bucket again.
The chain CC was a little too good, or maybe the pitch points came up a little too late. Either way, Navi is going to start crash down on every single one of these inhibitors.
Was that a bit too expensive of a kill for GXP? But Navi are not going to risk it just yet. They're not going to try to go for the end, and they will fully respect GXP right under their base, but there is another wave coming in mid. It's going to crash really, really soon, and that's a lot of stress for Ling only finding one, but Rian only has her eyes on the turret, and the lethal counter! Finding Ling! It's a shutdown towards Keishi, but will that be enough? This will to Rian! Changing play right here for GXP! Tempest of Blades really, really low, and another free hit from Winnie! Turning things around! Trying to stay, but she cannot!
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. As Redmond mentioned, the arrow, it just needs to hit. Once that arrow connects, there's so much more you can do with it. And this time, despite GXP showing just a sliver of hope here, Navi have already taken out 3 of their inhibitor turrets. The macro is going to be a little difficult to play once the next Lord spawns. And Navi, they don't find it. Got that first shutdown, fine. That's on us. But look at this replay, right? The conceal, making sure getting pushed out of the way. But this engagement coming in from Link initially was looking good until they got executed. However, you see the mistake come right about. Oh no! They timed it out before the arrow was about to be thrown. But even so, you can tell the frustration on Navi's face.
Yeah, but it was just a pixel away until we weren't able to see it. But you know what happened at that. It was a unfortunate sequence for Navi. Even as they just tried to really attempt for an end angle. And now we see how they play around with different things once again. They have been placing these traps around the areas where Mirai is really throwing them out just to ensure that they will have a so that's GXP playing it safe, but is Fa gonna not Ayanami?
No.
Fa unfortunately just literally cannot 1v1 this Freya. Not without that.
Play safe, guys. Play safe.
And worse yet, Navi, this is what we call the chokehold. Like, how do you even win this scenario? No matter what you do, Mirai can catch you with the shortcut, and which they're about to see right now.
Tempest of Blades used right before the portal gets laid down, and Mirai will no longer try to go for the chase. But that was really smart for Navi as well. Okay, wait. Fa, not gonna fight that.
They can still technically chase this for a little bit, but the more attention Fa is able to bring to them, the better.
Okay, that's BMI and Rain alongside Mirai trying to go for Fa. They're not letting him return or her to return to the base. As not Ayanami, Mirai and Keishi too are just dealing with the waves. Down! And the portal gets laid down. Now the rest of the members can catch up and just go for the Sophia trying to jump in. It's Mirai who's actually targeting with the blaze. They do it! And now it's Winnie using the wind of nature, but they do not care. They're after the base. Lethal counter, and that's the end.
Oh, tough one. Really, really tough one. Well played here.